Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Nationals March to October. We are just about halfway through the season. We're on our 77th game that we're about to play. So before we hop into it, I kind of want to do a little halfway point update, I guess, on all of our stats. And I'm not going to take too long because we've been keeping up with our stats a lot throughout the course of this year. But there's just a couple things I want to point out. I don't really want to go through everybody. All I really want to point out is in the last episode, some of the changes that I made, pretty much all of them are going well. We moved Hap to the leadoff spot. His numbers have gone up. He's up to almost a 300 average with a 373 on base. He's actually, I didn't even realize how good he was at stealing bases. So he's been a pretty good leadoff hitter. Luis Garcia's numbers, I don't think I moved him around, but I mean, you can't really ignore those numbers. Not hitting for the same kind of power though as last year, so we want to see that come back. Abrams is starting to improve also. I think both the batting average and on base have gone up about 20-ish points, 25 maybe since the move. The only bad thing is now he's playing short and he's making errors again. So it seems like nobody we put at short is making plays consistently there. Victor Robles has seen even more of a jump to his numbers. I think when we made him the everyday starting center fielder, he was batting 306. Now he's batting 329 out of the 9 hole. That is production right there. The only move that I think the numbers have taken a dip is by making Lane Thomas an everyday starter. Ever since I put him in as starting against righties, also his numbers have started to creep downwards. I think when I put him there, he actually had an OPS over 1100 and now it's just down under 1,000 barely. I wish maybe there was a little tab here where you could see like the last 10 games numbers just to see trends a little better. But like for now, his numbers overall are still good and Rosario hasn't really gotten much better since I benched him against righties. So I really don't have much of a reason to make that move back. So we'll stick with Lane Thomas for now, but we're going to have to keep an eye on that also because Rosario now is only 1 point away from jumping up to a 70 fielding rating, which would give him that silver badge at short, which I would hope jumping up a tier like that would have a pretty good effect on his fielding. So once he gets there, if Lane Thomas hasn't gotten back to where he was, I probably won't hesitate to move Rosario back to short, Abrams back to right, and then Thomas back to the bench against righties. And then I want to take a little look at some league leaders here because we haven't really done this yet this season. There's not really much of note going on offensively when it comes to league leaders. I mean, Meneses is top 5 in hits, but that's just kind of because he plays every day. But yeah, home runs, it's Meneses at 18, but he's pretty far off the lead. In the AL, I mean, Mike Trout, look at the season he had last year, 40 bombs, but the average at 345. This year, the average is dipping a bit, but the power's coming out even more. I'm very excited to see where he finishes this season, and he might get to that 500 home run mark in 2 seasons. I mean, he's 85 away, but if he keeps putting up numbers like he is, we'll probably see him get to 500 within this March to October. Oh yeah, and then this was one that surprised me. Matt Chapman is tied for the NL League lead for runs scored. Like, where did this come from? First of all, I mean, he's been playing better lately, so those numbers have come up recently, but until then, he was only batting like 220, maybe on base at like 310, 320-ish, but he's also batting in the 8 hole, so he just gets less plate appearances per game. So I don't know what it is about Matt Chapman that makes the rest of our team play well when he's on base. Because I mean, really, if you combine his hits and his walks together, that's just about 110 times on base. So he's basically scoring half the time he gets on base, which is ridiculous. But really, the big place that we show up on these leaderboards is pitching. And a lot of it is to do with Yoan Adon. He's tied for the lead in wins. He's a little far down on the ERA leaderboard, but still under 3. top 7. We have Josiah Gray tied for second in homers allowed, which is surprising given his 42 home runs per 9 rating. But Gray is also tied for the lead with Adon for shutouts. Adon is leading the entire MLB in strikeouts, and number 2 is Strasburg, not too far behind him. And then just in the top 8 in the National League, we also have Cade Cavalli and Mackenzie Gore, and I guess I didn't even realize throw in Josiah Gray tied tied for 8th. So our entire pitching staff is top 10 in strikeouts this season. Even Mackenzie Gore, who really hasn't been pitching that great. But then this is what really got me. Steven Strasburg is 2nd in the entire league in pitching WAR. 1st on our team, better than Adone. And that led me to look at why. And it turns out, even with a 4.10 ERA, his FIP is way down there at 267. So judging by that, he's actually pitching a lot better than it shows in the ERA. And that makes sense. I mean, a high strikeout total, a low whip. He's, I guess, just kind of getting unlucky by giving up runs. But the fact that he's putting up these numbers, sure, he's regressing, but he's really only gone down, I think, 2 overall. I think he started at an 81. So that almost makes me want to hang on to him through this season. I mean, he's contributing big time. Maybe the argument could be made he's our best pitcher, definitely 2nd best, if not the best. There's part of me that doesn't want to trade him. I mean, we're in the hunt, obviously. We're trying to win, defend our title. So, like, if we have a player playing good, I almost feel like we should hang on to him. It's not like we won't have plenty of money already going into the offseason. I think last offseason's budget, I came in like 60 mil under. We're gonna free up like 16.5 from Kenley anyway, so we should have like $70 million to work with without trading Strasburg in that contract. So like from here on out, it's either gonna take a really good trade or I'm just not gonna trade Strasburg. And actually, same thing kind of with Robles, because Robles was also on the trade block, but the fact that he's putting up the numbers he is, it's just not somebody you want to get rid of. I wish his attributes were progressing a little faster though, because then I would really be on board with keeping him, because the whole reason I was going to trade him is his contract is up and we'd have to sign him in free agency in the off season. But that's the other thing, is some of our players here that I've expected to progress are not progressing. Elijah Green has not progressed. James Wood has not progressed. They've both been stuck at a 70 overall to this point in the season, and I was expecting them to take a step and actually surpass Victor Robles, but they're not. So I don't know. Do I hang on to Robles and also make the effort to sign him back in the offseason? Is he going to be just as good, if not better, than these two? So I don't know. I'm going to keep them on the market. I'm going to see what kind of trades we get, but I'm going to be really selective about it. I don't even have any players left on the target screen. I got rid of that, and actually this I meant to change. We're gonna move that to just prospects. So let's hop into this game here against the Cubs. It's a good old 1-run lead in the late game here, so all we got to do is hold them where they're at, and we're only a half game back. Everybody in this division, the Braves have been playing really good, the Mets have also been playing really good, so it takes us playing really good to catch up to them and move out in front. So that's been really tough, but we've been hanging there, so we just got to keep racking up the wins. So here we go. It's Kyle Finnegan on the mound. They just brought him in because he has 0 pitches. But let's see what we have so far in this game. 10 hits on the board. Ian Happ is 2 for 4 out of the leadoff spot. Lane Thomas has got 3 hits. Meneses and Happ both have hit bombs. Abrams with a triple. Happ stole another base, and Josiah Gray with another pretty solid game on the mound. Let's go ahead and lock this one down, Finnegan. You got 3 righties coming up in a row, so I'm going to be relying on that hard 2-seam up and in. There we go. He couldn't hold up. Man, I don't know if it's because he came in not quite at full energy, but Finnegan hasn't gotten his 2-seam up over 100 yet. And I mean, 99's working clearly. And there we go. Strikes out the side, all on the 2-seam fastball. Great inning from Finnegan. Now we have a chance to add on some insurance, and they have Kyle Hendricks on the mound. Has he turned into a long reliever? He has. He doesn't have a single game started this year. He's down to a 68 overall, and he's got a 6.50 ERA this year. Oh, come on. Don't be doing that to me. I'm getting kind of really tired of that animation in this game as a whole. Just that reach behind you. Oh, look what I found kind of play on the mound. And Chapman, there we go, continuing his hot streak from walking it off last episode. And he's on base. So that means we've got, what, about a 50-50 chance of bringing him around to score based on his numbers? Oh, and I don't know what I saw in that. That was an easy take for ball 4. And Ian Happ's gonna draw another walk. Seems to be what he does really well. That one could get... No, it's not. Didn't tail enough. Alright. No insurance today. We gotta stick with the 1-run lead. We need Efros to come in and do just as good as Finnegan did. He's been pretty good in the closer role since I moved him there. And there we go. 1 pitch to Chapman for out number 1. And 3 straight sliders for Christopher Morel to sit him down for the second out. 1 more here. And Mancini with a weak grounder to second. Nice little win here. Pretty stress-free. And I guess technically for now that would tie us for the division lead, wouldn't it? That's definitely a lie. That's only going to be 2 fireballs. Let's see. Was I right? Did I nail it? Of course I did. Solid amount of momentum though that we have. Need to keep picking up wins. We're gonna get pretty close here to the draft. I know that. We only had this week and next week left of scouting. I want to save the draft for next episode. So I don't know. There's not really a whole lot left to do. We're just gonna give a new guy to Benji Lincoln here, see what he can find, and then keep our relief pitchers from International and Central scouted with our other 2. I really don't know what this draft is gonna be like. I kind of feel like I've messed up the scouting and I didn't do that great of a job with managing it. This isn't the best sim. We dropped 2 games to Kansas City. At least we won the game against Atlanta, and here it's saying assert dominance as division leader, so I'm assuming we took the lead. We did. We're 2 games up now. Up to 92 projected wins. The Braves are still at 96 though, so we do have some work to do to make sure we can stay out in front of them. And I guess this is a good chance to do just that. We have a 1-run lead against Atlanta. We have 3 full innings to play though to keep this lead, so I feel like we're gonna have to score. It's Adon on the mound. Looks like he's going really good. Matt Chapman with the solo home run is the only run of this game. I feel like I don't need to go into the pause menu then to see what's happened. We already kind of got the lay of the land here. Adon still got some energy, so he's going to give us at least the 7th, hopefully. And there we go, a strikeout right away. Who would have thought, man, when that fast track popped up all the way back when Adon was a 63 overall, that he would turn into probably our best pitcher in not even a year. Abrams, there we go. I feel like he always makes the play. When I'm in control, he doesn't really bobble it. And there we go, another punch out. Pretty quick inning there. He might have bought himself the 8th. We're being 1 hit though. I didn't even notice that until it was loading in between innings. But that 1 hit is the homer. That's all we have to show for it today. Oh man, he went 5 straight sliders that at bat. And Sheets, ooh, that's going to get all the way to the wall. That should be 2. That's going to be an easy 2. And you know, that reminds me, I did look before I started recording. I was curious to see what Jesse Winker was doing with the Sox. But he's literally not doing anything. He's a bench player on the White Sox. They don't have him starting against righties, against lefties. He's just on the bench. So I still don't understand why that was a trade that the White Sox wanted to make. But hey, I'm not complaining. Oh, Lane, buddy, I actually thought I made a good swing on that. He's not quite fast enough to run that out, too. And that change, he started throwing that all of a sudden this at bat. That's a ridiculous pitch. All right, Adon, you still got to stay on form then, because didn't really give him anything that last inning. And there we go, another punch out into the 8th, and these strikeouts are still coming easy. I wonder what kind of a chance he has at the end of the season to have that potential bump up to an A. Because I remember last year with how good Meneses was, his potential changed. I wonder how likely that is to change for Adon, who's also having a really good, potentially Cy Young season. And look, I'm just leaving a fastball right down the middle, and they can't hit that either. And there we go, another one. I honestly don't understand what makes him so good, if I'm being honest. I don't think his pitch mix is that great. He doesn't throw super hard. It's not like he has the best accuracy. I mean, a straight fastball has a pretty wide par there. And there we go, another weak grounder. So in the 2 innings that I pitched with Yohan Adon, he got 4 strikeouts and 2 weak grounders. Now they're bringing Colin McHugh back out. I feel like I remember having trouble against him last time I faced him. Oh man, that is so tough. On a 3-2 count like that, it's not a strike until the very end. Man, that is 2, 3 and 2 counts to start this inning, and I've struck out both times. I feel like I have so much trouble picking up where these McHugh pitches are going to end up. Robles, though, all right. Just barely made a good enough swing on that to get it through. Man, I was going to say I could try and swipe second, but they have Sean Murphy behind the plate, so that's probably not the best idea. I'm going to do it. I'm taking off with 2 strikes here. He could be throwing another off-speed pitch. He didn't. And I was just under that cutter, so we're not going to get any insurance. Once again, we're just going to have to make the lead we loaded in with stick. As tempting as it is to have Adone complete this game, I don't think I can do that with the spot of the order that's coming up. So we'll go back to our closer, Efros, to try and pick up another save. Oh, it didn't let me dive. I don't know if it makes a difference anyway. Yeah, that slider caught more of the plate than I wanted it to. All right, that's going to hang up there for a hap. Kind of missed again with this slider. And there we go. He couldn't hold up on the sinker. 2 outs. And there it is. Doesn't matter that the leadoff runner got on. Efros pitches out of it. Another good game on the mound all around. I just don't like that I haven't scored a run myself this episode. I'm assuming that that top one is a lie again, and we're only going to get 2, but we should get that 3rd for the shutout. So another solid amount of momentum going to get added. We picked up a game on Atlanta just from beating them. We should give ourselves a pretty solid lead in the division. Yep, I was right again. It's another 3, but that's going to get us back to a solid place. And this will be the last week of scouting before the All-Star break, before the draft. So we're just going to give it 1 more week of the same thing. Sub in 1 more guy for Benji Lincoln to scout. He does have the potential to be really fast, so that always could be valuable as a late round pick. So we move on. I would hope that the game would stop us before the draft here, but it's coming up pretty quick. We keep picking up wins though, and yeah, we are going to get 1 more game in before the draft. We got to beat the White Sox to keep a winning streak alive. What is our winning streak at right now? We're on a 5-game streak. That's pretty nice. We're all the way up to 11th ranked. Wow. So I think we will go ahead and save this one for the next episode, because I'm assuming the draft is going to be coming pretty much right after it, and I don't know if I could even like back out once that process starts. So we will play this game. Hopefully it'll go pretty quick in the next episode, and then we have the draft. So guys, as always, do me a favor, and if you enjoyed today's video, hit that like button, and if you're not yet subscribed to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. But that's all we got today, guys. Thanks for watching again. Thanks for stopping by, and I will see you next time.